if you have a bull's horn through your thigh, you have been gored.
Gourd.
Yeah. Now, if you have a bull's horn through your pumpkin, your gourd's been gored.
You gourded my gourd.
Now, if
my
your
groin gourd.
if your friend Gordon is holding a pumpkin and that bull's horn is through both your friend and the pumpkin, your Gordon's gourd's been gored.
Gordon's groin gourd's been gourded.
Oh,
Spread the news. Gordon's gourd
been gored. Why, hello there, freak. So glad you could join us. Time to listen in on another seriously silly conversation with Gretchen and the Lukes. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. You're too kind. You're too kind.
Yay.
Well, what do you guys think of my outfit? Oh, wow. Okay, thanks
They're not
a lot.
laughing at you.
No, it does sound like they're laughing with me because I think my outfit's funny too.
That's a fashion is amazing laugh.
It's all the Cleveland sports teams in one logo. They've smashed it into, well, it's three of them. The Browns, the Guardians, and the Cavaliers all in one. My mom always buys me these shirts because they're from Cleveland and I'm a Cleveland sports fan originally. And so then when I travel up there, I always put these things on, and I look like a total nerd. In fact, I came over to see my sister, and I had a hat that said Cleveland across the front. And she was like, well, hello, Cleveland nerd. I was like, wow, do I look like that? But I'm a proud nerd.
Oh, maybe this is not good. Let me ask you this. First of all, am I allowed to use gasoline to burn things in my yard?
Oh, like a dead body?
Oh, gosh. No,
Yeah,
not yet. That's nowhere near that.
Yeah, you probably can't use anything to burn a dead body in the backyard. I mean, maybe an animal, but even that. I don't think you're supposed to burn anything in your yard anymore.
Okay, here's what I have. It's a petrified log, but it has grown. It's like a tree grew into this metal sort of railing, an old wrought iron railing.
Oh, wow.
And I want to use this railing piece because I have this idea of like a thing I want to make, a yard thing that's like, I think it's going to look really good.
Oh,
maybe.
no.
In my mind, it's beautiful.
Oh, no.
It's beautiful.
I'll bet it is.
And
if only we could see it in your mind. We have to see it in reality.
Well, and so this wood, I need to get it off of there, right? So I can just have this wrought iron piece.
Right.
It's about 8 feet tall. But at the base, there's this piece of a tree, and I've cut off all the parts that I could. And I attempted to light because I'm thinking I'll just light that piece of wood on fire to burn it off, right? Why are you looking at me like that's the craziest idea in the world? It's literally just a piece of wood. I make fires in the backyard.
Is it a piece of wood that's still in the ground? Or is it a piece of wood that's already detached and it just has a piece of metal grown through it?
Yes, like I've removed the metal. There was a tree growing next to this wrought iron metal thing.
Okay.
The tree's been cut down. It's all down.
I thought this was a thing that was still in the ground.
Oh, man, that would be...
I thought you were just going to pour gasoline on a stump and then try to light it on fire. And that's why the look that I gave you was like, oh, I don't think we should do that at all.
Oh, yes, I see your concern.
And use
yes,
some fireworks in there, too. Use some fireworks. That'll help.
Oh, maybe if I had some, I could, maybe. Because, so I tried lighting it on fire just like I would a normal campfire.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
What happened?
It just wouldn't catch.
Oh, that's why you want to use the gasoline.
So I've used, then I even used a little charcoal lighter. I've used a few things. Then I thought, I got to up the ante. I couldn't get it to light, and I can feel that this wood is really hard. So I thought I'm just going to pour some gasoline on it, and which I should admit, I have already tried the gas thing.
Oh, well,
I've already twice done that.
You're like a kid. Is it okay to do this? No. Well, I already did it. Oh, okay. Then why did you ask?
I guess I'm only asking because you're here now, and I may relight it again today. I was thinking about going to get some gas. You have to get it in that little red can, you know.
And what is the metal made? What kind of metal is it? Is it like is it iron ore?
You're asking me, like metallurgy questions. I know. Is it
what temperature does a metal?
Right. True. Good point. Because I know this thing is not cast iron. I'm calling it wrought iron, but I don't actually think it's wrought iron. It's probably some kind of steel alloy thing.
Okay, so it looks like you're going to be safe. Iron melts at 1,500 degrees Celsius.
What about steel?
Steel at 1,371 degrees Celsius. And let me see what
Still pretty high.
gas fire lights at.
Still pretty high. Okay. So I'll just relight it. I mean, because, got to be honest, the other times when I put the gas on it and lit it up, nothing bad happened, but it still barely burned any of this wood. And it's too hard for me to chop. I've tried with a little axe. I don't know if it's me or the axe or the wood, but the combination wasn't successful.
Well, it looks like gasoline lights at 1,000 degrees Celsius. So you would not melt the metal, it looks like. It would still be under the heat that it would be required to melt that metal. So
Okay.
I think you could try it.
Keep doing that. And my
I would do it
backup
in
plan,
a safe area. I would like maybe surround it with bricks or stones if you have a fire pit.
Very
you know.
safe, yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
know the driveway.
Like I wouldn't do it
Back
on
the
your
car down.
like don't do it like underneath your gas tank of the car. Don't do it on a neighbor's porch.
Right. Don't do it near a big brush pile
Yeah, don't do it near an infant, like any babies that might be, roll over into it.
or dead tree.
Yeah, don't do it underneath a dead tree where it could catch with sparks. Don't do it near any type of dynamite or gunpowder.
Okay. Yep. I don't have any of those.
Don't do it near any like fine art. Like if you have a very expensive piece of art,
Don't bring that out
I
there.
wouldn't put that next to it.
Even if it's like some old wives' tale of it's good luck to put a
well,
family painting when trying to incinerate.
You can try it, but what's going to happen? It sounds like is it's just going to burn up, and that your luck is going to burn up along with it. So I'm just saying, and this is what what I sound like. I sound like those cops that are trying to give instructions before the First Amendment auditors. And don't walk into the street near where. Okay, officer, and don't take any wooden nickels. So I feel like and Gretchen, don't burn it near anything that's got fireworks.
You know what the trickiest part so far in this wood gasoline scenario has been figuring out the numbers when I went to the gas station to put gas in the red can, because I guess I could have just prepaid at the pump. For some reason I was inside trying to estimate like how much gas I needed to get.
Wasn't it like a gallon or 2 gallon tank, or how big was your red can?
It was like, I guess it was 2 gallons, yes. And so
Was
I
it
was
bigger than
trying
a bread
to get
box?
something like under 2 gallons. But you have to say the dollar amount to the cashier. You can't say I need 1.5 gallons. So then I was like, okay, and I was trying to figure out.
Wait a minute, that
what
guy
does
wasn't.
math cost?
They wouldn't do the math for you.
None of us were doing them. Well, we were all trying to do the math. He was like,
Oh.
oh, maybe like this. I'm like, well, I need like
Well, how much was a gallon of gas at the time?
I don't know, $40, $3.47,
Three-
$3.49.
Okay, so
I
$3.47.
don't
So
know.
$7 would be 2 gallons of gas.
Yeah, roughly, right? Yeah.
Well, you might want to go
Minus
with
6
$6, and then that way it would come up a little bit under, so you have a little bit of room at the top of the gallon. So I just solved your problem in like half a second.
Yeah, well, you're the numbers guy.
How long did it take you guys to figure it out? Did you get it? Did it fill?
Yeah, I eventually did get some gas in there.
Well, congratulations. That's a big deal for you. That sounds like sounds like you had a big win there.
It wasn't
Gretch. Good for you.
It was
No,
it was just a funny moment because I hadn't prepared what number I was supposed to say. That's all. And I'm waiting in
yeah.
line, and then I was trying to do all the numbers as I was standing
next.
there.
Yeah,
And
I would like. Let me think. $100 worth of gas to fill this tank.
And there's so many numbers. You have to remember all the numbers because what pump am I on?
Oh,
What's the
no.
dollar amount versus the
and then
number
the gallon
amount?
amount and.
But anyway, I got my gas. I came home. I lit that thing on fire, and I'm just going to do it again because the gasoline lit up the most. And I think if I just keep dousing this thing, eventually it'll burn. I only bring it up, honestly, because you've been out of town, so nobody's been knowing my business, but you might notice it tonight. So I bring it up would say, like, is this a
to
safe thing to see
preempt
how
an
you might
explosion.
feel?
Well, let me ask you this. Can you explain what you're going to use that metal post for that's going to be so darn interesting?
Yeah.
Because that's a loop that you sort of opened and didn't
Oh,
close.
yeah, I
And
would love to. Okay.
I'm
yes.
interested to hear what this amazing, like what is worth going through all this hassle for. So
Okay. So I don't know what you would call this thing. I guess just my creation. So imagine, first of all, I'm calling it a post, right? So
but it's like I know it's like a metal fence that's part of a
it
like a
went-
barbed wire fence that's in the middle, like a post.
okay, right. So I shouldn't use post. So picture this. We picture a carport.
Okay.
So like a roof over a few supporting things,
Poles?
beams, poles. Yes.
Poles.
However, instead of just
Things.
poles, it is these iron, like we have one on the front porch. What are they called? They're like the supporting beam, but they're not a
Oh,
beam.
I know what you're talking
They hold
about.
up the roof.
They're kind of fancy. They're
Yeah, they're trying to be decorative. There's like some
Yeah.
metal design and
Okay.
stuff, but really they hold up like your the porch of your house. And this came from an
well,
old carport.
that's like a support beam.
Yeah, so it's very strong. That is what it was used for.
Oh.
And then in this house,
I was picturing something totally different. I was picturing like when you have a barbed wire fence and you have the little picket that's in between it that's metal and it's
Yes.
kind of folded.
right. Yes. No. So this is much stronger, taller, decorative.
Well, you can imagine why I was a little bit curious about what you were going to build with a
yes.
barbed wire picket.
Yeah, you're
I was
right.
like that's going to look stupid.
going over and with all this effort. So
So is that those things that are laying down by the driveway, like those
Yes.
long things? Well, let me ask you this question. This. I guess this brings up a good question I had for you. I was in the garage and I was going to go walk over past the driveway to get to the table that we have set up with an
Yeah.
umbrella on it, a sun umbrella. And I realized that you had done some moving around of things and that you had completely blocked access to that area of our yard. So now you have to literally walk. It might be a mile and a half, 2 miles, it feels like, around all of that to get to the area that's like 10 feet next to the driveway. And I'm just curious what your thought process is of doing that, knowing that Luke's your husband has a trouble just walking anywhere without tripping or cracking his ankle. And then, so what? Just could you just walk through
did
your
block
thought
the
process?
pathways,
It's
yes,
completely
I
blocked. There's
totally
one
blocked.
very
I
narrow
know.
way, but I have size 13 feet, so I have to. When I walk through that little narrow, it's I have to like kind of walk sideways so that my feet can fit in there because 13s it's too narrow for a 13 to fit, horizontally.
does it help at all to know that on a to-do list for today, I do have written at the top. Okay, actually, this list isn't written down, but it's in my head.
Oh, come
So I'm looking in my head, and
Nice
at the
try.
top,
Nice try.
at the top.
Would it help to know that I've written down a list? You haven't written down a list. You haven't written down a list. Don't bullshit me. Tell me about the list in your mind.
The list in my mind, right at the top, is that to clear the pathways for Mike. Because
it
I
really?
realized that I've like literally blocked the pathways to the seating area.
It makes
of the
me
yard.
it makes me laugh because I was just trying to get some bug spray that was on that table that was over there, and I was like, she's literally blocked the
whole path,
the whole
all
pathway.
entrances. It's like I'm preparing to smoke you out like a honey badger or some kind of animal where I'm like I block all the exits or
because it's not
entrances.
just along the driveway; it's also like an L shaped the other way. So you have to walk almost to the neighbor's house and then come backwards, and then it's like you're golfing.
It is a bit crazy.
Like I'm on the 18th hole. I gotta. The way they got this set up, I gotta take the path least traveled.
It's so true. Would it be helpful if I said I was trying to help you increase your step count for the day?
Well, if I believed it would
That's
be helpful.
BS.
I know it's BS.
That's BS.
You're
It just got out of hand, and I block entrances for some reason. I mean, and then I always try to go back and reopen entrances.
Yeah, when I
for
say
loops.
something, when I'm like, "Hey, what's going on? What happened?"
Yeah. So those two long metal.
Right. Okay.
So would you say they're about 8? They're about 8 feet long.
Yeah, they're long,
And they're very heavy.
And they're very heavy, and then you've put them in a place where if you're not really looking,
You'll
I could
trip
just
right
trip right
over.
over them. Yeah. So thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
And so imagine those, I have 2 of them, standing up
Okay.
in their natural state because they're meant to support things on top.
They are beams. They're like L's.
Yes, they're shaped like an L.
And
So
then-
there's a
but they're-
90-degree.
But they're like fancy metal kind of grating or like
Yeah, like little
like
metal-
circles and
decorative metal stuff
yeah,
all
like you'd
throughout
see on a
it.
porch. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it, I guess.
So then imagine both of those standing up,
Okay.
and that they are attached to, you know, that giant glass panel door? We used to have
Yes.
about 8 of them that I drug home from the side of the road.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, if you could have seen the things I dreamed of making when I had 8 of those doors. But the hoarding is out of control. I mean, I had
Those
to
things
just get rid of
weighed
stuff.
like 300 pounds
They're
each.
heavy.
Ugh.
Aren't you impressed that I got 8 of those home all by myself? These
Well,
crazy
I am.
big doors.
I'm impressed that you thought that was a good idea for sure.
Oh, I saw so many cool visions. But anyway, alas, now I have this one door panel, one big
Right.
door.
Are you gonna make a Kool-Aid stand or a psychiatrist stand like Lucy and Charlie Brown?
Ooh, that could be. You could use it maybe that way.
Psychiatrist help, 5 cents.
So I have the door laying on its side,
Okay.
horizontal on the ground. So it's like a glass, panel that you
Okay.
can see through. Because I like the way the light reflects it. I like this idea of this picture window, but outside. It's going to be in front of the garage, about 10 feet forward. And then imagine my 2 black wrought iron railings attached to it. So it's like goes straight up.
But what are they attached in the ground on the driveway?
I'm thinking it'll be like that awesome masonry where it's all about the angles and the physics and it holds it together. You plop in that keystone.
You have a
So it's gonna be a bottom, these two side posts going up, and then a small like railing across the top.
crossbeam.
That would have some little lights hanging, and I have my 2 plants that I'm gonna put by the sides, and they're gonna eventually grow up through that railing. And then, so that's going to kind of be right in front of where the garage door opens, where we hang out a lot. And it will have it may have a little tiny, it may just be decorative. And it's like it's gorgeous. Can't you see it? No.
I'll tell you what I see. Here's what I see. I see
What?
2 giant pieces of metal rigged to stand vertically, and then I picture someone bumping into them and them just everything falling and crashing on top of one of our children or one of
Ooh,
our
yeah.
like our dog.
Yeah.
And then that thing just like chopping his head off
Oh, gosh.
because you've tried to sort of rig a heavy metal.
Yeah.
And I don't mean in the rock and roll sense, but just
No.
a literally metal that's heavy.
Yeah.
On top of cement, and without using like a cement base or
Right.
like how
Right.
somebody who was doing it properly. So
Yeah.
I like the idea, the thought of it.
Yeah.
But don't do that.
Well,
It seems like such a great idea, but don't. Maybe don't.
maybe don't. Maybe
Well,
don't. Who
well,
knows?
maybe- unless you're
I
able
can't
to
even really
do-
try until if I can burn this wood off anyway.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of funny that you have those ideas when there's other stuff that could probably be done in its place, in terms of the time spent. But like functional things versus artistic things are like that's 2 different areas of your brain.
Yeah, and honestly, like what this thing, because I think something that my brain does just naturally on its own, and that for me is enjoyable, is my brain loves to like use objects for other purposes, like not their intended use. I love to like see things and see the potential of what I could turn it into
But
based
see,
on the shape or the size.
It would be. I mean, I that's cool, and I like that. I think that's a really great quality that you have. It's one of the things I really like about you. But the problem with you right now is that you don't have welding equipment. You don't have woodworking equipment.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have tools that you can keep track of because
Yeah.
they end up all over the place.
Yeah.
And so you're basically you're taking like duct tape and wiring and trying to make these really complicated things, and
Yeah.
they look different to us than they do to you. I
I
know in your
know.
mind they look fantastic. I'll give you a perfect example, and you'll remember this example. I went out to the laundry room one time, and I looked up behind the washer and dryer, and I saw this blue tarp, maybe.
Oh,
on
yeah.
on the like kind of nailed onto
It was
the
a
wall.
tarp, yes, a blue tarp.
And I was like, "What? Was there a hole in the wall that you're covering, or like what?
Yes.
Did something happen? Are you about to do some work and you're trying to like keep the wall from getting paint on it, or like what's happening here?
What's
So
the problem here? I remember you asking like, what's
what's
going
the problem?
on there?
Yeah,
What's
like
the
it looks
problem behind
like we have a
this, or what's-
situation here, and then you described what. Go ahead, and why don't you tell me tell everyone what it was
Well, there wasn't a problem. I was
to you.
I was gonna make it was gonna be like a giant aquarium collage thing,
Right.
and taking up that whole space on the wall.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I have a bunch of different things, and our kids are younger at that point, so we're
Not
all
much younger.
going to be making.
Not much younger.
How long would you say? At least 5 years, 4 years.
Maybe 4 years.
Shit, I can't track time.
Yeah, it was
I
probably
don't know,
4 years.
yesterday.
Right? So they were 10 and 7. So
Okay.
like, but the way you said it is if they're like
Not toddlers.
toddlers that were like, "There's a fish on the wall. That's
No.
neat, mommy." They'd
No.
be like, "Mom, why is there a tarp that has a cardboard fish stapled to it?"
And then we were gonna make all kinds of different fish things. I was gonna be putting up fish facts. I had all these. It was gonna be very it was gonna look great. There's gonna be some
Right.
lighting involved, some little fancy tinsely things that glimmered. And I remember trying to describe all of that to you as you're looking at the tarp, and then I remember you saying, "Okay, well, just so you know, some of us just see the tarp. We just see the tarp."
Womp,
it made me-
womp, womp, womp.
It made me laugh. Also, because, in all fairness to the situation, I'm pretty sure I had put a tarp up. I probably wasn't actively working on the
No,
aquarium.
that was
That's
the point.
thing is
it had
that
been up for like a week.
I
and
start things
I
all
hadn't-
over
I
and
hadn't seen you
never-
do anything with it, so I was like, "Well, what happened? Why is this tarp all of a sudden up?" And then you started describing this aquarium, and then I only had one question, and my one question was just one word, and I was just like, "Why?
why?
Why?" Because I saw it in my head.
Why?
Why would you? Why?
That-
Why?
That question, Luke's, has got to be a part of a daily wrestle for you.
It really
Because
is.
why? Because
It really is.
if you know me at all,
I do.
you know that you're not going to find a why
There
that's
is none.
satisfying. It's not going
Because
to
it's
come
there.
from logic.
Because it's there, Luke.
I know.
Why are you going to set up a picture window in front of the garage that could possibly topple during any sort of not even a windstorm, but like a wind, like simply something, because it sounds like you're
Or
describing,
cats jump on it.
and you're describing something that seems almost like a little like top heavy.
Yeah. Well. Okay. Well. This project. The reason I haven't begun to rig it up is because it's a lot heavier than a tarp, and I want it to be safe. And don't worry, if it is not, I will bail out of it.
What was the other one that you had? You had another project that you were working on the side yard that was attached to the swing set. There was another thing out. I remember for a while back. What were you doing? Yeah, see,
It's kind of no telling. I mean, there's
Right.
just a lot of ideas, a lot of things started, and
No,
but
I will.
we'll see. I'm gonna make a fire tonight.
In
So.
defense of you, I will say that during the holidays, you do a really good job of decorating the yard with found objects like
I love making
Halloween and
displays.
Easter and
Yes.
Christmas, and so I'll give you that, and that makes sense because you could say, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And it's like, well, it's a holiday, so I want it to be
holiday.
festive. So
Yes, and I am going to go today. I'm gonna be burning that and setting it up for the solstice, which was last night, summer solstice. That's the why. So solstice.
Wait, so is it solstice is on now? It's like now is part of the solstice, or was last night the solstice and you're just late?
Well, last night was the solstice, and so
What is the solstice again? Remind me.
the official start of summer. Like there's a winter solstice on December 21st,
Okay.
and a summer solstice on June 21st.
What is the?
I was just looking for something that was official that you could look up that could be the why of why I'm doing that. It's not necessarily connected.
Let's see, it's solstice.
And it was a full moon, I think, last night. That's
Okay, so the solstice is the time or date twice each year at which the sun reaches its maximum or minimum declination, marked by the longest and shortest days, June 21st and December 22nd. You were right about that.
yes,
So
yes.
it's a sun thing.
Yeah, so maybe I'll make a sundial, fashion some sort. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I'm definitely going to. And if the wood doesn't burn off, I'm just going to drag those things out to the curb for the
Are there-
next big trash pickup.
Just out of curiosity on this to-do list that you have in your brain that
Yeah.
has that somehow prioritized.
Yeah.
Are there other things on that to-do list? Things like laundry or cooking or cleaning or
Those are on there. They're on there.
Are they? I'm just curious where the sundial ranks.
Well, that's a brand new idea because it just popped into my head. So
Oh,
probably
no,
first.
no, you mean
probably first because the most exciting idea goes to the top of the
That's
list.
true.
And then I have to really wrestle to bring up some of the practical things to the top, and I'll do the ones that you absolutely have to do. But where does it naturally go? First, next, almost like I can't wait for this to finish because. How do you make a sundial? Could I make a sundial? Is that better than my idea of some kind of archway thing with vines?
Wow.
It's first. No, you know what, Luke's? I'm still going to clear those pathways for entrances and exits.
I appreciate that. That
would
would
safety
be
thing.
It would be nice. I would like to put some bug spray on. I'm very delicious to bugs. That's what I've
Yes.
come to realize. I put poison all over my body, and they still bite me. That's how great my blood is.
That's crazy.
Right? How delicious is my blood? They're willing, like a pregnant mother mosquitoes are willing to risk their baby's life just to eat me.
Yeah, and we were thinking you might be
Type O,
something,
yeah.
right? The type O is the more tasty blood.
Apparently, to them, yeah, we did that
We
on
looked
another
that up.
episode. The
But we
carbon
don't know-
dioxide, but
We
I
don't know our blood type.
No,
I don't
we should
know.
probably know our blood
We
type.
should.
That's if
Why don't you think that's on a driver's license? Or I feel like it should be on the birth certificate.
maybe it is.
I don't know. I don't
haven't
think
checked.
so because I guess you're just supposed to remember that information. I don't know. I don't know our children's blood type. I don't know my blood type.
A B B A B A B O O B O B A B A B O. I
And,
think
and
that's
positives and negatives in
negative.
there.
Oh yeah,
They're all. I don't know. I guess we'll have to figure that out at some point.
Yeah.
Especially
especially if you're going to be
out the mosquito thing.
if you're going to be manhandling metal and it's going to be falling all over us, we should definitely know our blood type because we might have to do a transfusion at some point when somebody gets gored.
Yeah.
Certainly not bored around here, but you might get gored.
Gourd. It's gourd. I'm just picturing large squash thing. I'm picturing those decorative gourd bowls we had for a while that were those hollowed out gourds.
You are falling victim to the homonym.
Homonym. Is that
Gourd, Gored.
like a bull would do with his
gore
horns?
you, yeah.
Would
And
gore.
if you have a bull's horn through your thigh, you have been gored.
Gourd.
Yeah. Now, if you have a bull's horn through your pumpkin, your gourd's been gored.
You've been gourded. Your gourd's been gored.
Yep.
You gourded my gourd.
Now, if
my
your
groin gourd.
if your friend Gordon is holding a pumpkin and that bull's horn is through both your friend and the pumpkin,
Yeah.
your Gordon's gourd's been Gordon. No, Gordon's gourd's been gored.
Gordon's groin gourd's been gourded.
Oh,
Spread the news. Gordon's gourd
been gored.
Groin gourd has
What's
been
wrong?
gourded.
What's wrong? Do you need help? What's wrong,
Trying
Timmy?
to say lots of G words.
Gourd, my friend
Yeah.
Gordon's gourd's been gored, and so is his groin. Do you need help? What happened? How did that happen? He was in a bullfight in Gretchen's yard because she was trying. She had an idea.
She had an idea.
It involved a bull and a red cape.
Would you ever do the running with the bulls?
No,
I
I mean
wouldn't
I'm
do
58. I would be like they would call that the running of the bull's meal.
I should
know.
actually. What am I thinking with that question? You literally just told me
can't-
you can't walk. It's
I can't do the
crazy.
running
Walk
of our
around the
driveway,
yard
yeah.
to get the bug spray.
I've
So,
seen
yeah,
the pictures
running
of
with the
those
bulls.
guys running with the bulls, and I like how they at the last second will jump over a fence, and then the bull will just knock over the whole fence, and then everyone behind the fence is just like, oh yeah, and then
It looks so intense to me.
it looks so stupid.
It does.
It looks like let's get this really beautiful animal angry.
Yep.
You know, I mean, running of the bear, running of the cheetah, and then one of us is going to get eaten, but that's okay.
Yeah.
A lot of us won't, and it'll be exciting for us.
We do love our blood sport,
Right?
Humans, we do love that. We're a bit gordy.
A bull and 5 of us will jump out of an airplane, and one of us will not survive. On the way down, I got gored with Gordon on my way down.
Yeah. I like the bull. I respect the bull. I think they're an amazing, powerful
Yeah,
creature, and
but
I
I know
wouldn't try
that's-
to ride one or run from one.
It's a cultural thing, and so I get that that's historical and all that, but but so were the Cleveland Indians, and we changed it to Guardians for the same reason, because it didn't make sense anymore.
Right.
So why not put an end to that? But I'm sure all of our Spanish listeners are like, "Por qué?" I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
It seems there's a cruelty to it, and being cruel to animals. There's a weird, like, narcissistic, sort of egoic.
It's not cool.
It's just not cool because it's so easy to hurt an animal or a child because they're helpless. So what does that prove to you? So, to me,
Although these animals, I don't know.
that
like,
little bull, that helpless little bull,
Yeah.
that 4,000-pound helpless little bull with those big horns on his head, and that he's got that angry, huff and puff that he does, and you could tell he's pissed.
So do you think...
I would be too if they
see,
stabbed my back with those prongs or whatever they have.
the idea of what's cruel, what's not cruel, what's our tradition, what isn't, because as you said, like, okay, being cruel to animals, I'm in no way for that. Neither are you. We're both big animal lovers. Then we talk about this running with the bulls, and we know, okay, there's this cultural history. It's a big part of
Yeah.
it, the bulls and bullfighting and all of this. And then I think, okay, so that's something that goes on that to me seems pretty cruel, like you said, because to get an animal all worked up into a rage, would be like doing cockfights or dog fights, something like that, where you get an animal all riled up. But then this is also considered by some people animal cruelty. But to me, I don't know if it is. This is like, have you seen the video of the chimpanzee? Did you send me this video of the chimpanzee driving the golf cart?
It
Living
was
his best life.
orangutan.
An
But yes.
orangutan.
Yes. Yeah, my sister didn't like that one. My sister is she's works with animals, and so she thought anytime you anthropomorphize any animals, she doesn't think it's a healthy thing.
Because they're not in their natural habitat.
Right, and then it encourages people to do the same. But that said, I gotta say that he was living his best life.
Best life. This
Best
is
life
this
ever.
orangutan.
He had one foot up, like you do when you're riding the golf cart.
Yes.
He had a hat on.
Yes, he's got it with he's got like the one arm, like cruising in his low rider, big steering wheel, and also let's make this very clear, he's driving it himself. He's not
Nobody's whipping him.
captive.
No, he's not in chains.
It's not a circus car.
He's like, I got a tea time.
He is out there like a baller on the golf course, just rolling in his own golf cart, and he looks happy. He looks like he has full autonomy. Looks like he's living a better life than many of us. Oh, look at this
He's
dude.
not wearing a hat. Not dressed. This one, he's not dressed up as anything, but you can't really.
So see, he's got choice. Someday he wears the hat if he wants.
Right?
He doesn't if he wants.
Nobody's making him dress up like a fool if he doesn't want to. Look at that belly.
This
he
is
looks
so.
Like, he looks like
Mike, it sounds like we just are standing on the beach all of a sudden in a
Right.
windstorm where no one can see what we're looking at.
This is some captivating radio. When you show something, show a video, and all it was is him steering, and he's holding his little arm up on the top like you do, like he's getting a farmer's tan.
And he is just driving and rolling, and
Yeah.
it's to me, it's almost a case by case scenario, because I can't say that this animal is in a horrible, cruel situation.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess the point of it is when you encourage people, like people don't understand how these animals could flip on you at any given moment. You always hear about that, where I was keeping a crocodile as a pet. I had him since he was a baby, and I was so fine right up until he became a teenager and got a little bit feisty. He ate my wife. I'm just going to say that right out the bat. He ate my wife. Okay.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
Wife buried. Lesson learned.
I have a new wife, and she has been informed that there is a crocodile in the house. That was my mistake. I did not tell my first
Didn't
wife.
get rid of this crocodile?
Oh, of course not. I love it. I've known it since it's a baby. This new wife I've only known since 6 months ago.
Yeah, no, and okay, I do understand, because like I've wanted a monkey, I've wanted a chimp my whole life.
Of course,
but I've
everyone
always
does.
known, of course I can't have that. I wouldn't want, because once it does hit teenage years, I understand you cannot hang with it. The chimps are so aggressive, they're so
Do
strong.
not
they're
throw
so
any more poop at your father.
violent.
Hey, I said do not. Okay, that's the last one. Oh, gross. Oh, stop it. Go to your room.
Just be too much.
All right, let me up. Let me up. Let me up. Chimp, let me up.
So the dream stays,
Okay, you can go anywhere you want. Here's the keys to the car.
stays where it should, just in my fantasy, because I understand it would not be fair to this animal, because then what about the rest of its life? It can't then go into the wild.
No.
However, I don't know. I'm wondering, are there some new luxury condos or something where people are putting all their illegally obtained exotic animals, like once they
Maybe.
hit teenage years and they
They're allowed
live
to golf,
there?
but they're allowed to golf.
They're allowed to golf. They're allowed to do. They're kind of. I mean, animal paradise. I don't know.
It looks like a good thing. I've seen a lot of in Asia. A lot of those Asian countries allow you to have a pet monkey, and I've seen videos of this one guy. Maybe it might be a couple, an Asian couple, and they have a little tiny monkey that has his little diapers on, and this little monkey is just always hungry. So like, this guy is always just chopping up, steaming carrots, bananas, and the monkey is just like always like, and the guy's like, hold on, and he's cutting up stuff, and the monkey's just sitting there like kind of nervously like pacing like. And then finally he gets his little bowl of it, and then we get to watch the little monkey eat these things. And then the monkeys are always dressed in either like a little dress if it's a girl, or a little like a sailor's outfit if it's a boy. And there's a part of me that's just like I kind of might want to move to Asia and get myself a pet monkey. But they're always eating, so you just be always feeding this little thing.
That's true. Oh, that's so cute.
I saw one where there was a thunderstorm and it got afraid and it came out of its bed and ran up to this guy and like ran under the covers and was like, oh, is it scared?
Oh,
so you
man.
cuddle with them. And then he ripped the guy's head off because he's that strong.
Whoa!
No, this was like the little like spider monkey kind of a thing. And
Right.
I think what they do is they rescue them. I think there's like spider monkey babies drop off, from the top of the jungle, and then they're just left at the bottom. And I'm just guessing because
Yeah.
I've seen them. They save them, and then they. The drawback of being saved by these people is that you have to wear a diaper and a dress now, and, or
But
a
they'll
sailor's
feed you.
outfit, but they'll feed you.
And okay, in general, yes, I understand it's probably not the best to try to live with animals, bring them home. But then I do think there's room in this world for those unlikely animal-human friendships. Like there's this one fisherman who came across a little abandoned like seal pup that was just left on the beach for whatever reason, had
Why
been
would a
separated.
mommy and daddy seal leave their baby?
And maybe it wasn't intentional. We don't know the backstory of the mother, the father, the group.
I
We don't
heard
know.
the seal mother was a drunk,
Oh my God.
and the father seal was never around. Let's just say
So, however, this beach maybe must have been a safe
he was
place.
he was
drop off,
he was with the
had a little
circus.
sign.
He had a horn act that he was doing, and that's how they met in the first place. Honk 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 honk. Oh yay!
This fisherman takes this seal pup and brings him back to the little like quarters right there off the beach, and he begins to raise this baby seal because it's a baby, so he's bottle feeding it,
Right.
doing these things. Then once the seal, however much time passes, where the seal is like old enough to swim and be out there on its own, looking for food, whatever, the fisherman takes him back down to the beach, and they've been bringing the seal out every day to swim anyway. So they bring him out, try to get him to go.
It's time to go, Johnny.
This seal
No.
will not leave.
No, Daddy,
First of all, the
why?
seal won't swim too far away. He just keeps watching
get
the
lost.
fisherman.
I'll get lost.
And every time the fisherman goes to leave, the seal swims
Oh.
quickly back
Oh,
and
oh,
is just following him back
Where we
to
going,
his
Dad?
house.
Well, because that's his dad.
And then ultimately what happens is that's exactly what happens. The seal literally is like, dude, I'm here for life. In for life. Like, I love you. The seal's not going anywhere. And the man just has this life with the seal. Now he's a fisherman. He lives right by the beach.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And the
He can
video
catch
ends
his food.
with the fisherman standing on a wood railing with a fishing pole, just kind of looking at the sun. And there's this shot, and the seal, big now, is waddling up in the frame and hoists up, like how seals can kind of stand up,
Right.
next to the fisherman, and just leans his big old giant seal head on the dude's shoulder, and they're watching the sunset. You can't tell me that's animal cruelty,
That
right?
can't be. That's called animal beauty.
That's like a little bit of magic. It was so. I fell in love with life. Oh, it was a thing of beauty. Thing of beauty.
Meow, 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 meow. Do you think that's their song?
No.
Meow, 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 meow.
I think it's. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining today's conversation.
Yeah, thanks for the conversation.
That was a nice conversation,
That
right?
wasn't bad.
I liked it, Lukes.
I had fun.
Let's do it again.
All right.